This might not be easy to hear, but I believe that sometimes you have to start anyway. The first time isn't going to look like your 10th, because we learn through experience, and gaining experience means doing something. And that's the hardest part, because at first you'll be motivated, bursting with energy, but at some point you'll reach a moment where you're realizing that you're not entirely sure what you're doing, or that it's not going as well as you imagined it to, a dip of sorts where the motivation and drive seem to be wearing off. And I remember the first time I cooked something as a kid. It was this vegetable sauce. It had some onions, celery, zucchini, garlic, and stuff in it. And my mum had explained to me thoroughly on how to do it. And I'd also seen her do it many times over the years, and yet doing it myself, I spent so much time cutting the vegetables so precisely because I wanted them to be the same thickness to cook. I completely forgot it didn't matter anyway, because later down the line they would have ended up being blended. And what was supposed to take 30 minutes was almost an hour and a half because of that. And I remember thinking to myself, man, that took such a long time, but I even felt a bit disheartened that such a quote-unquote simple thing could take that long, and that if I wanted to eat every day, I had to go through this process again and again. But by the 10th time, it came so naturally that, well, first off, I was way faster than when I first started, but that I also just ended up doing my own thing with it. It was more or less the same sauce, but had some tweaked ingredients, some more spice, some less salt. I didn't blend anything because I just wanted to try something different that day, and I know, daring. But I felt comfortable enough to break out of that structure at that point. Now, what I'm trying to say essentially is to keep going at it. All the theory in the world isn't going to prepare you completely, and all the practice isn't going to do much if you're missing some of that theory. I would have probably forgotten to add butter or know of regulating my temperature if my mum wasn't keeping a watchful eye on me. And initially that might be frustrating, because we'd like to have some reassurance first, to know it'll work before we start. And so, I'd like to finish today's videos on a quote. Life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forwards. To me, that means that we live our lives with incomplete information and understanding. So why not start anyway? Thanks for watching.